Okay, so who here believes in dinosaurs?
Absolutely not.
You don't believe in dinosaurs?
There's no evidence for dinosaurs.
I want people to understand the word dinosaur is a new word.
What are you talking about? A million years? That's not even a real number. A million years, and you're gonna laugh at creationists because they think that it rained for 40 days and flooded the whole earth?
I'm about to blow y'all's mind with this one. Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Hope everybody is feeling good. You guys, in today's video, I am awfully excited to talk about this one. Have y'all seen this meme going around right here about the dinosaurs? This is so funny. If any of y'all have ever had lizards, my son has a bearded dragon. She is 3 years old now. Her name is Jewel. And this picture makes me giggle. But there's definitely some questions out there, y'all, that we got to talk about dinosaurs, because I just don't think things are quite as black and white as we've always believed them to be. It might just not be that simple. Well, we're going to talk about it. Before we get into it, though, I do want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up, and over there we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. There's a $2 tier for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. That goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. I just posted a video up there last week under the $2 tier about the whole Katy Perry Ruby Rose situation. Did y'all hear about that? A mess. Anyways, make sure you read the full about section and what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to a lot of things that you guys ask about, that I use, that I love. Everything from jewelry, makeup, skincare, clothing items, hair care, workout gear, all kind of stuff that I want to post over there or that y'all ask about, I do. And all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So, you guys, there's some people who believe that dinosaurs are not real. They just do not believe that they're real at all. And not that they may just look differently than what we've imagined, and not that just scientists maybe got a few little details wrong about dinosaurs. There are people out there that really, truly believe that dinosaurs are just completely made up, you guys. We're talking about giant bones, all those massive skeletons that you see in museums. And the museums themselves are all part of a story that is not real, and it's some sort of massive cover-up. Can you imagine? Before we get into it, though, I did need to let you guys know I am not a professional. I don't know any of these dinosaurs or these scientists personally, or any of these people personally. Everything in this video is alleged. I am pulling all of my information from very public sources, news sources, media sources that is already out there. I'm filtering it through my own words and opinions. Please go do your own research and form your own opinions. Just don't show hate to anybody anywhere. So first, let's talk about the official story about dinosaurs, what me and you and all of us learned while we were in school. Now, according to the official story, dinosaurs lived millions of years ago, okay, during a period of time called the Mesozoic era. This was approximately 252 to 66 million years ago. And I've just got to give y'all a little bit of a spoiler alert. I've always found those numbers a bit exaggerated, but what do I know? Now, there were thousands of different species of dinosaurs, all ranging in size from small enough to fit in your hand to others being bigger than a literal school bus. Scientists base this information on fossils. Lots of fossils. I'm sure you guys have seen them. You saw them in your textbooks when you were going to school. And fossils come from after the animals have already passed away. Their remains can become preserved in rock over millions of years. These bones end up mineralizing and they turn into stone-like replicas of the original bone. These fossils are then found by scientists who study the reconstruction of them. Now, it is also said that footprints that are frozen in ancient mud have been found eggs and nesting grounds, impressions of skin and feathers, and even some preserved tissue in some rare cases. Scientists say that they are able to use several different methods to determine what period of time these fossils are from. I mean, it's pretty incredible when you think about like this official storyline, especially when you think about the fact that like we can't even cure cancer or the common cold. I mean, did y'all know that the common cold is literally uncurable? All you can do is treat the symptoms, but they can find out from a fossil like how many millions of years they live. I mean, it is incredible, you guys. Typically, they use something called radiometric dating, and this is where they measure the radioactive decay in the fossils surrounding the rocks. So again, that's the official story. It's what's taught to us in schools, and it is supported by decades of research, and it is accepted by scientists all around the world. Okay, so that is the story. That is the taught truth. So y'all remember that. That's what's in your textbooks. However, like I said before, there are some people out there who question this narrative, and some would say that they question it for a really good reason.
Okay, so who here believes in dinosaurs?
Absolutely not.
You don't believe in dinosaurs?
There's no evidence for dinosaurs.
What do you mean there's no dinosaurs?
Fossils. I've been to the museum.
Those are all plaster Paris.
Hold it.
They're artist renditions.
He cannot prove that.
The main theories surrounding this are usually based off of three different points. That dinosaurs are, one, just completely made up. Okay, so some people say, nope, they're completely made up, never happened, da, 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 da. Two, some people believe that they are misidentified animal bones that actually belong to dragons. Or three, it's all part of a massive coordinated hoax or a cover-up. I mean, it's some interesting theories. We have to talk about them. So let's start with the theory that dinosaurs are just completely made up. Some would say, why would anyone just make up dinosaurs? Well, could it be that it's about money? I mean, could it be that museums and similar places want to profit from having dinosaur exhibits? Now, shout out to my people that work in museums. Y'all, please don't come in the comment section and say, I pour my heart out in this museum. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm going to talk about the people that work in there, the amazing people, the people that take us around and take us on a tour and tell us what's going on. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about way, way, way at the tippy top that most of us don't even see. And I mean, it is said, and when I Googled it, it said it was true that, did you know that museums are funded by taxpayers, which means they're government funded? Most of them are, which means some people think that these museums, there is an element of making money because they can be funneled into these types of places. And you got to keep people coming in and all of that. I don't know. It's a weird theory. I'm not saying I believe that, but I'm presenting it to y'all. Now, others think it's far more about control than just money. They believe that certain entities want to push this scientific idea like evolution or deep time. Now, let me ask you this. Did you know that the dinosaur bones and the skeletons that you see in the museums are not real? Okay, so I know that we're all going to say, but wait a minute, I've been to the museums. I've seen the skeleton. Well, those aren't real, and they will tell you those aren't real. They're replicas, so those are not even real. So you're going in there as a little kid, and you're like, wow, look at the T-Rex's little arms. They're all replicas anyways. The real ones are not in there. Most museum displays are made out of casts, which are replicas supposedly made from real fossils and are filled with plaster bones that haven't actually been found.
You ever wondered how many of the fossils you see in museums are real? Well, here are some quick tips for figuring out which ones are the real deal and which ones are the replicas.
The best and easiest way to figure out if the fossils on display are real is to look at how they are mounted. Specimens with supports clearly visible on the outside of the bone are usually authentic fossils. And those that lack visible supports or that have holes drilled through them are often replicas or casts of real fossils.
They say that the original bones are usually too fragile to put on display in museums, so they just create copies of them.
You know why? Fossils are fragile. It takes us weeks to get a single bone out. And then it is covered in glue. It is wrapped in tissue paper, sometimes tinfoil, a ton of plaster and reinforcement is wrapped around it. Then it has to be very carefully slid down a mountain on a car hood in one time, or airlifted out in another and put in the back of trucks, and then taken all the way to its museum and then cracked open and then prepared. Everything has to get leafed off it very carefully, and we're adding more glue as we're going, because if you sneeze wrong on some mineralized specimens, it goes away. It just goes boom.
And I mean, that alone is proof that there is capability to create fake fossils, because they're literally doing that. So it's like, why would they do that? Well, they are doing it. They absolutely are. Now, they have what seems like a very logical reason, right? You don't want to put the real thing in there and then somebody comes driving a car through it, or some wild person that wants to make a viral TikTok video goes and crashes them and breaks them. So, I mean, I get that aspect of it, but it is important to know that if you're wondering if they would make fake ones, yes, they will, because they actually do, okay? Then there are people who wonder if dinosaurs were real, and there were as many as the scientists claim that there were, then why aren't we finding their bones all over the place? For those of y'all over on my Casually Christina channel, I told this story a few years ago whenever we bought our property to build our home on. Y'all, it's a very long story, but I'm going to tell you it very, very short because I told it over there. We bought this property. Before we bought it, we went down to the county. We made sure there was nothing wrong with it, okay? Because sometimes, and we've heard of this, we live in Florida, people will buy property, it'll go green, everything is great with it, there's no wetlands, you can build on it, you can do whatever on it, and then they go to pull the permits, and the county comes out and says, actually, there's a beach mouse that crosses the corner of your property and you can't touch it and you can't build on it. Now you're paying taxes on it, you done paid for the property, and the county says, well, a beach mouse decides to walk on it and the beach mouse is protected, now you can't build on it. So we were very diligent. Well, after we bought our property, we did everything. We went down to the county, everything. We found out that they said that there may be dinosaur bones on our property, and we had to go through this whole process to build. And most people that we told were like, yeah, but shouldn't there be dinosaur bones anywhere if they roamed the earth? Anyways, we've never even found a 100% full dinosaur skeleton, ever, allegedly. The most that we have is a T-Rex named Sue, who was found in South Dakota in 1990 and was only 90% intact. Well, scientists say that it is because fossilization is incredibly rare. Most animals decompose completely, but for a fossil to form, very specific conditions are needed, like rapid burial, low oxygen levels, and the right minerals in the soil.
When an animal dies and is rapidly buried underneath the ground, it eventually gets so deep that the oxygen in the air is prevented from reaching it. This significantly slows the decay of the animal, and over a long period of time, special minerals from the earth seep into the animal's body and gradually replace its organic materials cell by cell. This process slowly changes it into stone, which is how some fossils are formed.
And even if that does happen, there is still a chance that fossils can be damaged. But that also makes these theorists wonder, if the process is so rare and can easily be damaged, how do we have any fossils at all?
Because if you sneeze wrong on some mineralized specimens, it goes away. It just goes boom.
So if you combine the fact that we obviously have the capability to literally fabricate fake bones for displays in museums, and the fact that they are so rare, is it really out of the realm of out of possibility that dinosaurs aren't real, that it's all made up? Well, someone on Reddit asked why people would believe that dinosaurs aren't real. Like, that's the silliest thing. Why would anybody believe that? And someone said this on Reddit. Basic idea is that paleontologists didn't have a lot of funding a few centuries ago, so they invented dinosaurs to make paleontology cool for the general public. A bit like we made space cool for the general public to get more funding for aerospatial technology, which mainly serves the military, which was helpful in the Cold War to have bigger defense budgets. Now, again, that's just somebody on Reddit, but it does make sense what they're saying, that it could be a possibility because, I mean, they are making these replicas and the museums are getting government funding and who is really doing audits on the museum. I don't know. So literally, my mind is open. That's all I'm going to say. I'm at this point in my life, I'm second guessing everything. Anyways, that brings me to a man named Richard Owen, who has been accused of planting fossils and fabricating dinosaur evidence. Now, Richard Owen is a historical figure who invented the word dinosaur in 1842. He had a major influence in early fossil science, but he was also very controversial. He had very intense rivalries, especially with a man named Gideon Mantle, who discovered some of the first dinosaur fossils. Yes, Richard Owen created the word dinosaur without having ever found any bones himself.
However, Richard Owen has a tarnished reputation today for a reason. He is considered by some to be a villain of natural history, as he had been blamed for not giving credit where it was due, as well as stealing specimens from people and writing anonymous articles making other people look bad, but praising his own work.
And we can't talk about dinosaurs without talking about how they went extinct. According to mainstream science, dinosaurs were wiped out around 66 million years ago by a massive asteroid. The idea is that this asteroid triggered catastrophic changes to Earth like fires, dust clouds, blocking out the sunlight, and a total collapse of ecosystems worldwide. Some people believe that this never happened, or at least it has been hugely exaggerated. I've definitely seen people online say, okay, so wait a minute. So sharks have been around for all these millions of years, right? And things in the water. And they survived this time in life, but the dinosaurs that were water dinosaurs didn't. Because some of y'all may not remember, all we see now, y'all, is the long necks, the one with the horn, and the T-Rex mostly, right? I mean, that's the cartoon characters from Land Before Time that we all remember. And man, did that movie not have an impact on us as kids? Hello. Anyways, but remember this, all of these water dinosaurs that were in the water, but that weren't on land. So this knocked out all of the water dinosaurs, but not the sharks. I don't know. People just have questions, and it kind of makes me wonder as well. But again, if dinosaurs truly did exist, you would need a story for why they're gone, right? Or could it be that dinosaurs lived much more recently and disappeared for a completely different reason? Now remember, we talked about how there are people who believe that dinosaurs are actually part of a massive hoax or a cover-up, okay? Some people believe that fossils in dinosaur exhibits are just part of making a profit, but there is also this control aspect as well, and a big part of this theory is the rejection of deep time. So what is deep time?
Deep time is a theory that life on Earth stretches back roughly 4.5 billion years. This deep time theory is a concept that comes from modern, non-biblical, often called secular, geology and evolutionary biology. Deep time theology teaches that there were long ice ages, mass extinctions, and a supposed age of dinosaurs before humans ever existed.
Now, some people believe that the Earth is actually much, much younger than what we're being told. And I will tell y'all, I don't know about dinosaurs. It could go either way for me. I'll be honest with y'all. It really could, okay? I could find out that it's been alive this whole time and I'd be like, shocker. And then I could find out they're real and I'd be like, oh, cool. That's really cool too. But what I can tell y'all that I for sure believe is that the Earth is a lot younger than what we're being told. I do not believe that it is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of years old. That I tell y'all I don't believe. A lot of people believe that the Earth is only thousands of years old. Again, not billions. And if that's true, the whole theory of dinosaurs existing is really problematic. This would completely eliminate the science behind fossils not only being created over millions of years, and then also the dating system scientists use that we talked about earlier.
Anybody else think they're just making shit up on this dinosaur documentary? Just in passing right now, they said, oh, and one time it rained for 1,000,000 years. What the are you talking about? 1,000,000 years? That's not even a real number. 1,000,000 years, and you're gonna laugh at creationists because they think that it rained for 40 days and flooded the whole Earth?
But why would they want us to believe a totally different timeline? Well, some people believe that it is to support the theories of evolution and completely reject the idea of divine creation, God's creation, which this is something else that I truly believe in. I just think it is so fascinating to not believe that everything was created. And I know that there are people watching this that do not believe in creation. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. I'm saying I'm fascinated by that idea, because when I look around, I go, how could all of this happen, right? Man just happens to have woman that we just happen to recreate together the same way animals do, and and we reproduce, and this just all accidentally happened? Or how about the theory that the Bible literally says that we are made, us as humans, in God's image? We are created in God's image, and humans are the only species out of billions of species, billions, all the species in the sea, in the trees, the bugs. Humans are the only ones that are creative. And listen, I know y'all are going to say, well, a bird creates a nest. A bird, no, that is what they do out of instinct to reproduce. Humans are the only ones building buildings. We're the only ones driving cars, okay? And I don't care how many times you put a lighter in front of a monkey and say, light this, light this, light this, say mister, say bye-bye. They're still being taught. These monkeys have not evolved because they do not have that element of creation inside of them, because we are made in the image of God. So I'm just throwing that out there. We are the only species out of billions. There ain't a single dog out there that can cook you an 8-course meal. Just saying. But according to mainstream science, the earth is about 4.5 billion years old. They say that life began as a simple single-cell organism, and it eventually evolved into like this more complex forms over large stretches of time. And I know people that believe this too. I know people that believe in the pond scum theory. If you've never heard of it, it is that the earth was this big blob, and then there was a little piece of pond scum that created into the next pond scum, and then it built and built and built, and then it created a living being, and then we all evolved. We just happened to evolve perfectly into organisms, I guess, that like a man can and a woman, they go together, they create a baby, a monkey, a male and a female. It was just a very, very, very smart piece of pond scum that evolved over billions of years. That is a theory as well. Anyways, dinosaurs fit into that story as one chapter in the Mesozoic era, long before humans ever appeared. Simply put, small changes over long periods of time can lead to entirely new species. Okay? And again, not that what do I know? I mean, I'm just out here telling y'all my opinion. I'm like, man, they've been trying to get monkeys and chimpanzees. Yeah, they can get them to wear a suit and tie and walk on all fours and wear a diaper. But with all the scientific research, they cannot turn a monkey or a chimpanzee into a human because they're not humans. Just saying. The Bible describes something completely different than what the scientific element is saying. It talks about how the earth and all of life was created by God with a much shorter time frame. And a lot of people, including me, believe that the earth was created thousands of years ago. I don't know how many thousands, because I don't believe God's timing is our timing. But people like me and others believe that we were intentionally created by a creator and we did not evolve. And also, a lot of people believe that animals were created in their current forms and that the history of Earth is closely tied to Scripture.
One question I have is, do you believe that is the Earth 6,000 years old, or is it 60 million, or whatever the claim is? What do they claim it to be?
Just read the Bible. It's very clear. Jesus said the creation of Adam was the beginning. Matthew 19:4, Mark 10:6. Yes. The Bible says nothing died until Adam sinned. Romans 5, 1 Corinthians 15. And the Bible says Adam was 130 when his son was born. And then he lived 800 years after that. You can have that chart. I got a couple of them here. Then it says his son was 105 when his son was born. The dates are all given in Genesis 5. Then you go to chapter 11, which comes after the flood, and it gives a bunch more dates. You add up those dates, it takes it, and we know when Joseph was the vice pharaoh of Egypt. So we have pretty accurate historical records from Joseph on. If you add up the numbers in the Bible and the numbers in known history, the earth is about 6,000 years old.
Now, some people believe that if all of this is true, that if the earth was created just thousands of years ago, that there was not enough time for dinosaurs to have existed and gone extinct before humans arrived. Some even say that finding soft tissue like collagen in dinosaur bones proves that they can't be millions of years old, which supports the young Earth creation perspective. So again, that theory that dinosaurs weren't created thousands of years ago is not saying that dinosaurs weren't real. It's just saying that they weren't millions and millions and millions of years ago. They were maybe thousands of years ago. The young Earth creation theory is that God created the universe and all of life in 6 days and rested on the seventh, roughly 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. Based on the literal interpretation of Genesis, it rejects evolutionary biology and geological dating and attributes fossil layers to Noah's flood.
Young Earth says, hey, the Earth is less than 10,000 years old. Okay, what evolutionists hold, millions and millions and millions. And then we really just see, very simple, God makes everything that we can imagine in the universe in 6 24-hour days, and then he rests.
Then there are people who accept a little bit of both. And these people believe that scriptures are more symbolic than literal, and that the days of creation could actually represent a longer period of time that could align with more scientific timelines. But here's another theory. What if dinosaurs did exist, but we've been calling them by the wrong name this whole time? There's a lot of people that believe what we call dinosaurs today were actually described in ancient texts as dragons. In older translations of the Bible, you'll find the word dragon used in several places. And depending on the passage that you're reading, these creatures are sometimes described as powerful, mysterious, dangerous, and associated with wilderness or chaos.
And I want people to understand the word dinosaur is a new word. Do you remember what year it was that it was invented?
1841.
1841. Sir Richard Owen came up with this term. It means terrible or terrifying lizard. So we start digging up all these dinosaur bones and we start calling them dinosaurs, and we disconnected them from being dragon bones. Yeah. Because during this time, from about the 1500s to the 1800s, we really weren't finding too many dinosaur-like, dragon-like creatures.
Yeah, the bottom line here, the belief that dragons are a myth is actually a modern idea. It was invented after they went extinct. I mean, up until the 20th century, I mean, it was essentially, they were real creatures. I mean, think about from 1902 here, the Encyclopedia Britannica said that dragons might still exist, yet their numbers are few. And then just 8 years later, in 1910, all of a sudden the Encyclopedia Britannica published that dragons were myth.
And the reason that they published that is someone said there were still some dragons living up in the Alps. That's a mountain range over in Europe. A guy went up there, he couldn't find them, so he said, well, therefore they're a myth.
So, if humans back then really did have large reptilian animals, what else would they call them? Two animals from the Bible are usually brought up when talking about this theory. They are the behemoth and the leviathan. A behemoth is described as this like massive land animal with really great strength, and sometimes interpreted by readers as something that looks like a large plant-eating dinosaur. A leviathan is described as a powerful sea creature that is sometimes associated with like scales, strength, and an almost untamable nature. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people that believe that the leviathan is in the water now. I mean, y'all know the theories, or have seen the theories of the Loch Ness Monster. I will never forget, y'all. Back in my day, when I was just a young lady, we had encyclopedias, and I was obsessed with finding the Loch Ness Monster in any encyclopedia that I would find if I was in school, if I was in a library, if I was in a new home, or and there would be this little black and white picture, I'm gonna put it up here, that it was, I didn't know it back then, but I was into the conspiracy theory back then too, because I was like, is the Loch Ness Monster real? It was in literal encyclopedias. Anyways, I don't know. It all kind of sounds like it could be dragons to me. And could they have gone extinct due to floods or other large-scale natural disasters that you hear about in ancient texts? And it's not just in the Bible. Stories of dragons come from all over the world, you guys. I mean, they're in European legends, Chinese mythology, and in Middle Eastern texts. Dragons are not just something that we see in our television shows. They have been spoke about, drawn about, literally carved into stone in other countries, and written about in the Bible. So Could it be that the large reptilian creatures did exist, whether they be dinosaurs or dragons, but it might not have been millions of years ago. It may have been more recently than science claims. Or could it be that humans and dinosaurs did coexist and that historical and biblical accounts are more reliable than modern scientific timelines? Could ancient texts be literal historical records? If so, then dragons might not be so mythical after all. And then after all of that, suddenly you find yourself wondering if the mainstream version of dinosaurs is true at all. At the end of the day, the dinosaurs aren't real sea theory isn't really about dinosaurs. It's about how people decide how the world started or how it was really created. What do you think? I can tell y'all again what I think. I like the dinosaur theories. I like dinosaur movies. I think it's cool. The more you think about it, though, the more you look into it, the more you put two and two together about things, the more you question things, the more you question things, the more the simple answers that we were given kind of don't make sense. But like I said before, when it comes to dinosaurs, for me personally, if I found out it was a hoax, I would be like, shocker, really, another lie. And if I found out that they were real, I would be like, cool. Either way it goes, I definitely believe in large reptilian creatures. I believe in what the Bible says roam the earth. What they were exactly, what they exactly look like, I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. I know people say, why would they make it up? Well, there are reasons. There's lots of reasons, and we just talked about it. But then maybe it's not made up. Maybe it is all real. I'm good with either way. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below, and let me know if there are any other subjects that you want me to dig into. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.